My name is Hervé Jakubowicz. I've worked in the film industry for more than 30 years. I also participated in humanitarian projects in the 90s. This is how I stepped in Iraq. This is how I discovered Kurdistan. In 2009, I wrote and directed a short movie called Bullet Time, based on what I witnessed working for an NGO.
Hello.
In 2016, I was searching for a story and convinced myself to return to Iraq in order to find inspiration. This country had always fascinated me. However, instead of just finding a story, I found myself in the middle of a war. The battle to free Mosul from ISIS had just begun. Despite the danger, I refused to give up. I even returned to Iraq in 2017 to continue my investigation. I consider that I have a responsibility to share what I saw in Mosul. This is how this book, The Eagle of Diyarbakiru, was born. This book is an autofiction inspired by my experiences in the 90s amidst the craziness of wars. It proposes to follow the thread spun 30 years ago that will be responsible for new explosions in the 21st century. It takes us back to a time when Yugoslavia was in flames, Rwanda was bleeding, and there was a first attempt to destroy the Twin Towers in New York. We are burdened today by the consequences of that decade. The story follows a young photographer who, after being wounded by a bullet that came from nowhere in Kurdistan, sees his life take a tragic turn. Determined to confront death, he throws himself into the chaos of the 90s. But fate has other plans for him. 25 years later, after promising himself he would never return to a war zone, thinking he had found harmony and peace, the hero is overtaken by his past. While this book is obviously about the hard work of journalists, it also reflects on chance, hazard, and love. Over the years, besides writing, I also documented my work with photographs. These pictures have now become the echoes of my character's work, who is a photo reporter. They give another voice to this story and allow this novel to be more than a novel. The French version has been translated by Elżbieta Stanczakova and Sarah Wybieralova, and the book will be published by Women.